for the interview last night, Jason.
That's all right, mate.
It was very good of me to put you on such a high-profile program.
Thank you. Boy, certainly a good ploy to get him out wide, though, running at the centres.
Adrian Lamb back in this side made a huge difference to them last week. There's a long pass on the outside to Clark, who beats the first tackle of Withers. Clark is still going. Excellent run. He gets up over the halfway line, offloaded to Ivan Cleary. Made a successful transition to the forwards, Luke Ricketson. Now Sironen. Oh, a big hit there by Jason Lowry, who got right up in the Balmain skipper's face. Sironen won't take a backward step, though. He keeps the legs driving upfield. Now it's Starr. Good run by him, too. Gains another 10 metres. Tackler Sean Garlick. There's an ordinary pass that's on the ground. Morrison had to run across and scoop it up for Balmain. He does so now. And once again met in some very solid defence there. Garlick and also Jason Lowry. Balmain received the penalty. And referee is going to call Sean Garlick out for that. Let's have a look at that on replay. Morrison's got the ball. Garlick, well, I mean, it was around the neck region, but it was a bear hug, really, wasn't it, Jason? And a Balmain support player. Oh, here's a bus for Sydney City by Peter Clark. Coming in to do some work off the wing. Lamb calling his troops. Short pass to Gourley, who now makes it 5 metres. Oh, here's a good run by Rigon. And a high tackle by Sironen brings a penalty to Sydney City. 31 out from the Balmain try line. Siro will be called out.
It was a good run from Shane Rigon, wasn't it? He just took the ball close to the ruck and found a bit of space in behind there. I think Paul Sironen did get him high, though.
Here's the replay. Rigon running straight, and the big right arm of Paul Sironen slaps him across the top of the shoulders, the neck region. That's
out towards the 40-metre area. If you don't get the goal, it's not going to go dead, and that you're tending to turn the possession over to the opposition, so you take the odds of putting it into touch and going for a try more often, I think.
Expert comments from North Sydney skipper Jason Taylor. Here's a chance for Balmain, an intercept, and this is going to be a try to Withers. Balmain crossing for the first try of the game. It came from nothing. An intercept by Michael Withers, who picked up the ball in flight and raced about 25 metres to score that try for the Tigers. It's Balmain 4, Sydney City 0, 16 minutes into this game.
It can be a cruel game at times, can't it? The Roosters had an opportunity themselves there. They had the numbers. We'll see it on the replay. The Roosters, I thought for a second were going to get away. Withers came up with the ball and had nobody in front of him, and I can tell you what, that's a good feeling, David Tapp, when you pick up the ball with nobody in front of you.
Yes, as you know. Racing, what was it, 60 metres on Friday night to score. Here's the replay, though. And we freeze it there. And Withers was able to secure possession. They do have some depth in their interchange this year, Balmain, which will serve them well as this Optus Cup continues. Michael Gillette, Paul Sironen, now Tim Brasher in some space. He offloads to William Kennedy, and he sets sail down the eastern touchline. Almost beat the fullback's tackle, did get the ball back on the inside, and Balmain are still throwing themselves at the Sydney City try line. They're tackled 11 metres out. Now Milford runs down the blind side. He might score. He's pulled up by Matt Singh. 2 blades of grass short on the 5th tackle. There's a knock on there at acting half. That's going to be the turnover of possession. Now 38 metres out from the Sydney City try line as it goes back to Jolly. Long pass to Michael Gillette. They've got numbers out there. Now it's Brasher, who hits the accelerator, but he was tackled by Elsgood on tackle number 5. Back to Michael Gillette. He puts the crossfield bomb up, and plenty of pressure there for Sydney City's Clark. He's made a mess of it. That'll be a Balmain try. The second try to Michael Withers. No doubt about it. That's a try, all right. And Peter Clark just couldn't handle for Sydney City. And the black and gold army here at Leichhardt Oval have gone berserk.
I'd like to have a close look at where Withers was when Gillette kicked the ball then. I watched the ball come off Gillette's boot, and it was right on that 20-metre line.
That angle's not going to show, but it does show Clark making a huge mess of it. Withers, hasn't he been in the right spot a couple of times today? Here's the other replay, and
they just started to look like they were going to make a few holes, Balmain, didn't they?
they're playing good football today, completing their sets of 6, doing the basic things right. This is the lead-up to that try. Brasher was looking to get himself into space, and the try comes now as it goes back to Gillette. Unfortunately, our camera angle there, it's hard to tell where Michael Withers was in relation to the kicker. He was out of shot there, Jason. Balmain have certainly got their tails up, and they've got Sydney City where they want them to be. There's a good offload by McPherson. They keep the ball alive. It goes back to Hudson Smith, who now links up with Starr. There's Brasher. Brasher finds himself in some space, but he's tackled now some 19 metres out from the try line. There's a blue one in the background. Players rolling all over the turf. Now Michael Gillette, big chance for Balmain. A shocking pass. They should have scored there, Balmain. They had a 3-man overlap, and Gillette has thrown a horror pass, but they're still in possession on tackle 5. Kennedy back to Jolly, who puts a little kick up. There is a player racing through. Can't get his hands on it, though. This game is all Balmain at the moment, Jason Taylor, who's prepared to take the hard yards up the centre if required as an extra forward. Now Fittler. Nice ball to Shane Rigon. He's in some space. Has a support player in Ricketson, who's met in a good tackle by Timmy Brasher. Brasher doesn't miss those tackles too often. Rigon throws the ball to Brad Fittler. He elects to go to the air. A number of players chasing through. Balmain have made a mess of it. Leichhardt. And there's the great Dawn Fraser, one of the all-time great Australian Olympiads, who is a fun up inside the 10, and that was the right decision. They were blatantly offside. They go for the quick tap through Lamb. Lamb goes forward another 10 metres before offloading to Walker, who in turn now gives it to Jack Elsgood. He hits the accelerator. Through the ball back to Tim Brasher. He's intercepted for Balmain. So they turn defence into attack, and scrambling defence it was too. Well, Phil Gould will be disgusted with his side. You can't do that sort of thing. Now the ball comes out to Balmain's Mark O'Neill, who calls Webber back on the inside. He steps Webber, and he's tackled 5 short of the halfway line on tackle number 5. Scrappy football. We've seen that a couple of times today from these sides. Brad Fittler does a great job to get back for the ball, pick it up, and now the clearing kick goes down to Withers, who will turn and see in front of him about 5 Sydney City defenders. Oh, he's lost the ball! Just lost his concentration there. He skipped through the tackle of Shane Rigon, who's hurt himself. And now Sydney City come up with it. Running hard and straight, it's Ben Duckworth, who offloaded. Back to Garlick. Now it's with Gourley. Gourlay's got Fittler on his left, but he decided to keep it. 15 out now from the Balmain try line. Lamb dummies to Hermanson before offloading to Luke Ricketson, who got through half a gap. And they're now 9 metres out as the ball goes back to Brad Fittler. Short pass to Gourley, who was searching for the try line, but he couldn't handle. The referee says double knock on. So we'll see a scrum on the balance. Fittler, Jason Taylor, the beautiful short pass to Gourley, but he couldn't handle it.
It was reminiscent of what we saw Brad Fittler do to Manly earlier in the season, wasn't it? He sent a couple of the Roosters players over.
Crossfield they run. This is Ben Duckworth, who's pulled up about 2 metres short by Tim Brasher. Good chance for Sydney City as Garlick sends it away to Lamb. Now it's with Hermanson, who throws a pass over the top to Matt Singh. Now with Jack Elsgood, who steps back on the inside as he got the ball down. Elsgood is across the line, but he's held up. No try. Timmy Brasher, I think you'll find, combining there with Milford to stop the man from forcing the ball. Here's the replay, Jason.
He did well there, Lamb. He created the overlap by getting past that guy. So did Hermanson.
Yeah, Brasher was the one that was under the football. So Sydney City again throw themselves at the Balmain try line. Another set of 6 in Balmain's face. Across field they come. Now Fittler throws a long ball to Peter Clark. Peter Clark met by Withers, though, and he's tackled 5 metres short. Exciting rugby league game here at Leichhardt Oval. Lamb calls his troops back on the inside. It was Gourley running hard and straight. They'd love to put 6 points on the board before the break, and we're only now 38 seconds out from half-time in this game as Lamb juggles it. He's held up and gets up to play at 9 metres out now from the Balmain try line. Fittler back on the inside to Luke Ricketson, who offloads to a support player. That'll be a Sydney City try. That's a try to Sydney City, so they do hit back before the half-time break. I think it was Logan. Just checking that for you, but that's certainly a Sydney City try. And don't we so often talk about that critical 10 minutes before half-time where Balmain have let Sydney City score. And I think it was Logan. We'll get confirmation for you, but it was just sheer weight of numbers. Jason Taylor, sustained attack.
Yeah, the Balmain side will be very disappointed. What looked like being a 10-0 lead at half-time is now only going to be a 4-point buffer at 10-6. Ivan Cleary will kick this goal. Well, truly all over the top of the Roosters. The Roosters just lacked a bit of spark, but Tigers insisted on giving them a couple of opportunities towards the end.
And Sydney City now coming up with possession. A loose pass there. And this will be Ben Duckworth to get up and play it for them. Singett acting half. Penalty. Balmain inside the 10. Well, this referee Simpkins has got to be consistent because there was Balmain. And we've had 4.5 minutes gone now in the second half.
We spoke about the couple of mistakes Balmain made just before half-time. It was totally uncharacteristic of the way they played the first half. And they started the second half the same way. A couple of silly errors early and invited East into their territory. They just want to get back to the way they were playing when they went to the 10-0 lead. Controlling the ball, kicking deep and chasing.
Now it's with Lamb, who steps brilliantly. Lamb's away, and Lamb sets sail for the try line. Back on the inside to Luke Ricketson, who puts the ball on the ground. Oh, that might be a Sydney City try. There were players racing through, waiting to see what the referee decides to do. He's going to award a try to Sydney City. We'll put that one down to Adrian Lamb. Rig on it was that dived on it and forced the ball. Lamb making the bust, stepping freely through the Balmain defence. Got it away to Ricketson, who desperately put boot to ball. Here's Lamb on the replay, Jason Taylor.
They're enthusiastic, the Tigers defenders, but against a player with such footwork as Adrian Lamb, sometimes that can be your worst option. Now, I'd like to know how Luke Ricketson knew that Rigon was coming there. He didn't look for 1 second. He just dropped the ball onto the boot, figured he wasn't going to make it to the try line. And Rigon clearly the first one there.
A fair try, no doubt about it. So we've got one heck of a game of football on our hands here. And Cleary will now set the ball. 11 metres out. But for mine was marginal. But Rigon was tackled by Webber. Here they go again down the blind side through Luke Ricketson. Balmain defence equal to the task. And a tight match here at Leichhardt. Lamb, who's made a huge difference to this side since he returned last week. Fittler met and tackled in a good hit. And he's taking a while to get up, Brad Fittler. That hurt him. Now it's back to Lamb, who puts a little kick over the top. Oh, that will be a Sydney City try to Ivan Cleary. That was just too good. A brilliant ploy by Brad Fittler, who kicked back on the angle. He knew Cleary was there.
Adrian Lamb it was. Tappy. Brad Fittler still receiving a bit of attention. Lamb kicked back on the inside. We saw Fittler attempt to do it earlier in the first half. He went for a grubber back on the inside, knowing Ivan Cleary was coming through the ruck. Lamb put this one in the air. Boy, we saw Canberra used to get a lot of mileage out of that one. Ricky Stewart used to put the ball back across for Brett Mullen, steaming through the middle of the ruck. And Ivan Cleary, I'll back him every time if there's a one-on-one competition with the ball in the air. He didn't have much pressure though. He just had to take it and fall over.
And he's not well, and he's the man that's got to attempt to convert this. And he may let someone else have the shot at goal. I think you'll find he's not well. You're right, it was Lamb. Have a look, another look at it.
This is where Fittler was injured.
That hurt, that tackle. Themselves back in possession. Well, Balmain are going to pay dearly for these mistakes, and they're starting to come all too often, Jason Taylor.
They are. We've said it a number of times. They went for 38 minutes in the first half and hardly made one.
Jolly's down and hurt in back play. The Balmain halfback who hasn't moved. Got his face on the turf, and referee has seen that. For you, Cleary. Jolly across the top there, and boom, there's the elbow. And Ivan Cleary will be there for Sydney City. Positional play outstanding. Ooh, Michael Gillette had a tendency to get the players' legs up in the air there, but nothing came of it. There's a spill of possession, and Balmain, an outstanding opportunity for them now, the changeover of possession, and it was Darren Centre falling on it for the Tigers. Here they come, the black and golds, in front of their home crowd, and it's a big crowd at Leichhardt. Darren Centre puts the head down and charges at the Sydney City try line. He's pulled up 2 blades of grass short. McPherson now at acting half. What will he do? He spins it to Jolly, who steps off his right and heads back towards the goalpost. He was tackled by Scott Logan for Sydney City. This is enormous pressure now for the Roosters. Balmain using the football with long passing, and Lamb there again in a tackle that had to be made. Brasher at acting half fires the ball to Jolly. Now it's Gillette. Now it's with the man in jumper 11, Mark Stimson, who keeps it alive. It's back to Gillette, who is met in a crunching tackle by Jack Elsgood. I can clean it up. And across field he runs. And there's a penalty to the Sydney City side, Sironen. And there is some feeling in this game now, Jason.
Those sort of things are just hurting the Tigers at the moment, aren't they? They've put a good kick down, they had a good chase. Elsgood bringing the ball back. Got through one tackle and Siro comes across the top. And
there's no doubt about that. So Sironen being cautioned. Who's tackled by Jolly and also Morrison. That would be tackle number 5. Garlick back to Walker, who has a shot at field goal. Ricochets off a Balmain player and goes back on the fly to Timmy Brasher, who found himself in space. But he was tackled by Gourley for Sydney City. So Balmain, with 13 minutes remaining in this game, have got to get the football up the northern end of this stadium to make a bustling run out of acting half. We're 7.5 minutes now remaining in this game. Fittler trying to start. The Roosters made half a break. Balmain have got it back through Jolly. He's got no support. He'll have to go on his own. And he was tackled by Ricketson and also Matt Singh. Good chance now for the Tigers. Brasher calls for it and gets it. Switches the point of the attack back the other way. They swing it right through Michael Gillette now, who's running out of support. Play, Michael Gillette's through. He comes to land back on the inside now to Webber, who sets sail for the line. That's a Balmain try. 7 minutes out for full time, and boy, didn't they need that. A great try. And well done, Michael Gillette.
well, Michael Gillette, I can tell you one thing for sure, he would have been very disappointed at half time, because he would have known he was the man to drop that ball just before the break. And that would have hurt his confidence a bit. He would have been very disappointed. But as Tim Brasher turned the ball back to Jolly here, it went to Gillette. He headed across field and he just straightened up beautifully here. Got around Andrew Walker, which is an easy feat.
And there's Webber crossing for the 4-pointer. That makes it 16-14 in favour of Sydney City. We've got Billy Anderson sitting beside our commentary box here at Leichhardt Oval. He just undid the window and said, Tappy, can you go and get Jason Taylor to take this kick for us? There's the other replay as Webber comes across and scores a fine try. So he rams home the advantage for Sydney City. They now lead by 4. So Balmain have got 3 minutes to score a converted try to win this game.
Tim Brasher caught that ball and was running back to the halfway, and Sean Garlick got in his road to slow him down, and Brasher ran straight over the top of him.
Oh, yes, there's a short kick-off. Oh, it's been picked up! Here we go now, it's the Lower Milford. Brilliant play by Brasher. Well, that's exactly what the Tigers needed. This game is going to go right down to the wire. We're less than 3 minutes remaining on the clock now. And the Balmain side are tackled 5 metres out from the Sydney City try line. From Michael Gillette, the ball goes to Jolly. He elects to go on his own. He's tackled right in centre field. 11 metres out. Well, they've given their fans their money's worth today. Now it goes back to Brasher. Morrison back on the park, works the run around with Timmy Brasher. And he's tackled now just 7 metres out. Moving into the acting half area, they'll throw the ball out to Jolly. Now it's with Michael Gillette. They've got numbers, Balmain. There's that ball that's been well caught by Mark Stimson. Stimson's over. He's been held up, no try. Oh, exciting stuff here at Leichhardt. What a game of football. The kick-off from Tim Brasher. Bold tactic as we look at the replay of Mark Stimson. Pins the ears back, set sail for the line. Elsgood was there. Matt Singh, they flip him on his back. And there's no doubt, as the scrum packs, there's the replay of the kick-off from Brasher. It was taken by Laloa Milford. Half, they're 10 metres out now, and only seconds remain in this game. It goes back to Michael Gillette, who dummies now, gives it to William Kennedy. William Kennedy, oh, he's been put in the touch by Jack Elsgood. That's full-time at Leichhardt Oval. What a game of rugby league. What a game. The full-time siren has sounded. Balmain have gone down fighting. There's the replay. Kennedy clapped on the pace through the dummy, but Elsgood, it was a try-saving tackle. Just pushed him into touch. Kennedy got off balance. Well, that's about as an exciting finish as you're going to see